Have you ever wondered, how do I stand out at work? How do I make myself noticeable so that maybe I can get a promotion? Then this episode is for you.
You're listening to the Dynamic Women podcast. Each week, you'll be inspired by our global community of women. They'll share with you tools and stories to help you be dynamic in every area of life. He's your host, award-winning coach, and the CEO and founder of Dynamic Women, Diane Rolston.
Hello and welcome, Dynamic Women, and welcome to the Dynamic Women podcast. I'm Diane Rolston, your host, and today we are going to talk about how do you make a name for yourself at work. This is part one. Part two that I'm going to cover in 2 weeks is how do you make a name for yourself in your industry. So I've got 5 specific things that you can do right now, no matter where you are in your company, no matter what level you're at in your company. And hey, if you're not in a company, you can still think about how can I apply these to make a name for myself in my industry because I own my own business. How can I make a name for myself on the board that I'm on? How can I make a name for myself in this circle of friends? Just think about how you can apply this to other areas of life. So first of all, this came from just a conversation I was having with a professional whose company was overtaken by another company. They were bought out. And so they went from, a company around 50 employees to in the thousands. So now when you're bought out by the big guy, how do you really prove that you should be there? How do you continue to move up the ladder when now the ladder seems very big with a lot more competition? And so here are the 5 suggestions that I'm going to give. First of all, if you are bought out by another company or it is still the company that you normally work for, you have to think, what are this company's values? What's their mission? What's their culture? What is most important to them? Is it efficiency, productivity, sales, customer service, humanitarian efforts? Like, what is it that they really regard highly? If you can align yourself with that already is going to help you to stand out. And if ever there's a time where there's a performance report and you can back these up with ideas and experiences and evidence, proof that you've done these things or that you're in alignment with them, especially in just different interviews or conversations that happen, it's going to help you to make a name for yourself. The second thing you can do is connect with others. And so whether you know every person in your company or not, this is an opportunity to reach out and get to know them or reach out and maintain or nurture that relationship. So how do you do that? Well, there's so many different platforms that companies are on. Maybe it's Slack, or you have another in-company, in-house messenger system. Shoot them a little voicemail or a little video, or even just reach out and just say, hey, how's it going? And if you don't know each other well, why not do a virtual coffee date, right? And especially with Zoom, with people being in their own homes, you get to learn a little bit more about them than you maybe normally would if you were talking in the office workspace, staff room, water cooler chat, that sort of thing. So ask questions, get to know them. What do they do on the weekend? Do they have family? Do they have a pet? What do they like to do? What are their hobbies? I know these are kind of like basic questions, but when you get to know these things about them, then you can easily refer back. Like the following week, you could say, "Oh, hey, Steve, did you go skiing again this weekend? Or have you seen any other great movies? Or did you finish that book you were reading?" There's so many things that you can talk about just based on you asking one question the week before or the last time you saw them. And it might help to even write it down, especially if you're going to be meeting a lot of new people. Write down one interesting fact about them. And then when you see them next time, follow up with that. And the cool thing is, in them sharing something about themselves, why not acknowledge them? So if you get to know them on a personal basis, acknowledge them for who they're being. Like, wow, you sound like a really great chef. Or, oh, I hear that you're a really loving sister. Whatever it may be, you can do a very simple acknowledgement of you are a, and then an adjective that you heard in the story they were telling you, based on just who you think they are. And then the role or title, like sister, baker, wife, mother, and such. Or at least you can compliment them. That's a great shirt you're wearing. Love your background. And if you're able to do it on a more professional basis, it could be, that was a really great email you wrote. Really love the presentation you made. Congrats on such great slides. Whatever it may be, you can compliment them on how they were doing in the job, how they were performing, or you can compliment them on who they were being. While you're really organized or you were really patient with that customer, you can give them an acknowledgement or a compliment. There are so many different ways and versions that this is, and it can be personally or professionally. You have two choices. The third thing you can do is speak up. And what I mean by this is, and you don't need to be like the boss, you don't need to be the one that is going to dominate the conversation, but you should at least say something. At meetings, come up with ideas, share them. When you have that opportunity to present something or even ask a question, do it. Do it. You need to have a voice to the name in the email, or you need to have people see you when they normally just see your name up on a board somewhere. And if you're feeling like, there's not really an opportunity for me to say things or ask anything, can you even just do a clarifying statement? Can you even say, yeah, I agree with Ronnie's idea to do that at the next event we're doing? Can you just say, I agree? Can you give someone kudos in a meeting? Can you ask a clarifying question? So does that mean that X, Y, Z? Is that what you're saying? That shows interest. That shows that you care to know that what you heard is right. And so if you don't have anything else to say, at least ask a question or provide a statement. The fourth thing you can do is just be yourself. Be yourself. There are so many people in a company that they start to just kind of all blend into one another, especially for anyone that has kind of a specific uniform that you have to wear. But can you be yourself in other ways? Can you have a snazzy email signature? Can you have a certain way that you close off or open up in your email writing? Can you have some other way to kind of show that you're fun or creative or smart, whatever it may be? Can you change your Zoom name or put something beside the Zoom name? Like even a quote. Could you add that in to just show the things that are important to you and make you unique? And so if you wear glasses, could your glasses be a bit more fun, a bit more unique? Could you wear a statement necklace or a brighter colored shirt? Just be yourself so that you stand out, that you're different. And the fifth thing that you can do is make yourself recognizable. I don't know how many times I finally got to meet in person the person that was in an email. And I had kind of a way of thinking of like, oh, I thought they looked like this, or I thought they looked like that. I didn't know they looked like that. Oh, okay. So in your emails, can you put an image of yourself so that you're recognizable when they see you? And then when you jump on the meetings, get on video. I don't know how many times I've been on calls and people are not on video, and they don't even have that resting photo that just sits there to mark their spot when they're not on video. So it just says their name with black screen. Get on video. Have people see you. And even if you're not the one speaking, to be on video and to be smiling, nodding, looking thoughtful as if you're really listening, that goes a long way for someone who's presenting. As a speaker, I know that. I noticed that. I was at a little meet and greet event the other week, and one of the other women, as everyone was introducing themselves, she was smiling and nodding and showing that she was really listening. That prompted me to reach out to her in a private message through the chat function of Zoom and really just say like, hey, who are you? And you are doing such a good job smiling and nodding at people. I love it. Like, congratulations, something like that. And we started up our own little conversation and ended up having a virtual coffee date. So she was making herself not just recognizable, but she was helping to have herself stand out. And when you do go to in a meeting or in these different capacities, say your name. Say your name. Don't assume that people know your name or know your department. So you could be like, I'm Janie Smith from accounting. I am Tony Lee, and I've been working on the such and such project, right? Let people know where you are. So say your name, say what you're working on or something just to connect people if they don't already know. So there are 5 ways that you can make a name for yourself in the company. Align with their values, their mission, and their culture. Connect with others. So reach out, get to know people, ask questions, acknowledge or at least compliment. Speak up at meetings with ideas or even questions, and at the very least, a confirming statement about what someone else said or agree with someone. 4th, be yourself, have an email signature or other ways that just help you to stand out. And the last one, number 5, make yourself recognizable on video and say your name. And so those are the different things that you can do, and most of them focusing on really great ideas for what you can do at your company. However, if you are a business owner, you work for yourself or in a different capacity, and you want to make yourself known in the industry that you work in, then stay tuned. In 2 weeks, this is exactly what I am going to cover. I'm going to share some of the tactics that I use as well. And so in the meantime, make sure you subscribe. And why don't you write us a review? Let us know the things that you like, how this podcast has helped you, assisted you, sparked an idea in you. I would love to hear it. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, stay dynamic.
Thank you, Dynamic Women, for joining us today. Please hop on over to iTunes to subscribe and leave us a review. Who do you know who needs to hear our message? We'd love it if you'd share our channel with your friends and family. If you're ready to be more dynamic, have more balance and more success, head over to www.dynamicwomenclub.com/free gift for your Key to Success book. Stay dynamic.